Couldn't pay me to vote for a Democrat. Local, state, federal elections, I don't care what it is. You couldn't pay me to vote for one. You know why? Because they know that we, and I mean people whose skin color look like mine, they know that we vote party over interest. So after we vote, what do? They don't need us for anything. That's what they do. Year after year after year. I'm from Baltimore, and I go home at least twice a year to see family. Same abandoned homes, same crime rate. We haven't had a Republican mayor since the 60s. And look at our environment. The same can be said for Memphis. The same can be said for St. Louis. The same can be said for Detroit. The same can be said for a lot of these cities all over this country that have been led down the toilet by Democrats for decades. Stop voting party over interest and vote interest over party.
Hey, welcome back. It's your man Wise, and today I got a great video for you guys, man. I have a collage of videos I want to share with you all. You guys are going to enjoy this. Please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Drop me a comment down below. I appreciate all the love. I do. I appreciate all the support. AskWiseToday@gmail.com is the best way to get a hold of me. And before we get into the video, we must have a word from our sponsor, Childlight Candles. Please support Childlight Candles today. Link in the description box below. When you purchase a candle, 25% of the profits goes to support local organizations and charities that directly help veterans and their families. Childlight Candles is a veteran-owned organization. Get yourself a Childlight candle today. Childlight Candles, fragrances lit for the kingdom. Now let's get into the video.
I just told you a little while ago, these leaders that they call leaders, this included Lena Horne, this included Dick Gregory, and this included comedians, comics, trumpet players, baseball players. Show me in the white community where a comedian is a white leader. Show me in the white community where a singer is a white leader, or a dancer or a trumpet player is a white leader. These aren't leaders. These are puppets and clowns that have been set up over the white community and over the black community by the white community, and have been made celebrities and usually say exactly what they know that the white man wants to hear.
Brother Malcolm did not lie. There is nothing new under the sun. The same things that were happening back then are currently happening right now. He didn't lie. The liberals, these Democrats, they keep using the same playbook. It's entertainers, it's athletes, it's rappers, it's singers, it's whoever the mainstream liberal media puts in front of you to get you to go along, to get along. They have a list of paper with some talking points, and they stick to those talking points. They get paid to stick to those talking points. I got a great video for you guys. I wanted to preface everything that you're about to see going forward with Brother Malcolm telling you exactly what time it is with these people. Again, there is nothing new under the sun. Let's go.
Everybody sits and has this laser focus on black men. You've got Latino men who are working at the border who are like, hey, I don't like these immigration issues. Why is nobody talking about me? You've got Asian American men who are saying, hey, wait a minute, I don't think affirmative action has worked for me. We have this twisted focus on the wrong group of people. No matter if every single black person, and always, you always had 12, 13% of black people who end up voting for a Republican anyway. If every single black man in America who voted for Trump went and voted for Joe Biden this time, it ain't going to change much.
I don't think that's true.
But a large, I'm telling you, even unless you look at a place like Georgia, right, which is a very, very small margin, but most of those black men, it's not going to end up making a difference. But if we look at Latino men and we look at Asian men, that's where the difference is. That's where the focus needs to be. We have the Democrats have to have, yes, the Democrats have to have a pivot to different kinds of people and stop talking to folks who are 55, 60 years old who listen to what an old rapper has to say because their vote's already decided. It's those 18, 19-year-olds who are working right now at CVS and Verizon who don't see a difference, who are the ones who are liable to either stay home or switch their vote.
Now, the internet gonna be on fire by what you just said about black men, Jason. I just want.
Hey, No one is checking for what this fool has to say. You see that he's got his butter biscuits, he's got his manumission, and he's got his talking points, and he's got his marching orders. And this is a black man. See what I'm saying? They use us against us consistently. And this is a liberal, democratic way of doing things. It goes all the way back to the killing fields on the plantations way back when. They typically use someone that looked like us to carry out the punishments. Nothing new. Nothing new. I hope black men see this right here and see that not only are they planning on pivoting away from you because they know that we won't bend the knee. They know that we want to be leaders. They know that we want to take care of our families. We don't want the government in our way. We know the border issue is going to cause major problems. Not only going to, it is causing major problems in the black communities. It's us that have to stand up against this foolishness, and we're doing so. Let's get into the next video.
And you know who embraced it more than anybody else? The black population. It's incredible. You see black people walking around with my mugshot. You know, they do shirts.
When you heard that, what did you think? Big sigh.
First of all, I'm just going to say this. If I see a black person walking around with Trump mugshot, I'm going to punch him in the face.
Charles.
No, Gail.
Charles.
Gail.
You really can't say that because, A, you don't mean that.
Oh, I mean that sincerely. I'm going to just tell you something.
And then you will be arrested for assault. And then what?
I'm going to bail myself out and go celebrate. If I
Don't encourage him. Don't encourage him. Okay, but go ahead.
Seriously.
Continue.
First of all, if I was at that
conference, yeah.
I'd have got up and walked out. That was an insult to all black people. Because he's basically just saying, and first of all, to compare black history where we've been discriminated against to his plight.
Yes.
Well, first of all, he's a billionaire. And they're prosecuting him for stuff he did wrong. They're prosecuting him for stuff he did wrong. And for him to compare... It's
still in the court system, Charles. We have to wait. It's still in the court system. But continue.
Well,
continue.
Some of the stuff is true. They did storm the Capitol. They did say that the election was stolen. Those aren't lies, Gail. Those are
They
facts.
did say that. They did say that.
But to compare, I would have got up and walked out because it's not a fair comparison. You know, he's a billionaire. He's had a great life. He's been president of the United States. To insult black people who have been discriminated against all these years, to put them in the same category, I was just offended.
You see, Malcolm X said it. See, they put people like Charles Barkley out here. He has his marching orders. He has his talking points. You really gonna punch a brother in the face? You right there in Atlanta on a regular doing your show. There is a bunch of brothers down there with the N words for Trump. I bet I put any amount of money on it. He won't take his behind down into the hood, down there in Fulton County. I know he won't. He talked that talk because you can talk like that around white liberals and they chuckle and listen and laugh. But he's a black face of white supremacy. He's someone who is a multimillionaire. He's lived a super privileged life. I used to like Charles Barkley until I seen this and some of the other things that he said that really is against the word of God. And I just can't rock with somebody like that. Charles Barkley is a liberal prostitute, willing to say and do anything for the bag. That's who he is. He's shown that time and time again. He, out of his own mouth, has said it. If they pay me enough, he'll do or say anything. So you can't even take people like Charles Barkley seriously. You can't, because he's already shown you he's for sale. He doesn't care about normal, regular, working class people. It's obvious he don't care about normal, working class black people, because if he did, he wouldn't be pushing liberal talking points. He wouldn't be expecting or pushing black people to continue to vote for people that never had our best interests. He took that complete clip out of context, but to be expected, because that's what CNN does. It's easy to chop up a couple clips and you can make somebody sound any kind of way, but you can't refute the talking points if you actually took the time to listen to what he had to say. See, that's the problem with these people. They get a clip that's been chopped up by someone, and then they all up in arms about nothing. Now, if he would have told me, hey, I watched the whole clip and I'm upset about everything that he said, then I could respect that. But the fact that we know he did not do that. Again, Charles Barkley is a political liberal prostitute, willing to say and do anything for the bag. Let's get to the next video.
If the government did nothing else, just making sure that home ownership was more accessible to more of us, would be a great step in the right direction, because for most people who own homes, it is your one beautiful apple of security. You can borrow against it and then pay yourself back and not pay taxes on it. You can use it as leverage should your household run into a crisis and you need something as an emergency. You can use it as collateral if you're starting a business. The abilities that you get through home ownership are manifold in this society. And it shouldn't confuse any of us why it is that so many black folks don't have that same opportunity and access.
That was failed governor or candidate Andrew Gillum. I'm not going to go too deep on him, but he lost the race down there to Florida to Ron DeSantis. Thank God he lost, because there is no telling what the state of Florida would have turned into had this dude won. Now, mind you, this man is a black man, married, 2 kids. After the race, he gets caught up in a crazy situation. And I'm going to say allegedly, but there's footage and all types of things with drugs and male prostitutes and all types of craziness. That's who he is. But I'm not going to go deep in on that today. But he was talking about home ownership. And I do agree with the talking points of what he said. But did you know during the Trump administration, from 16 to 20, more black people actually bought homes during that time frame? The actual black home ownership increased to over 49% during that time frame. And a lot of the reason why it increased the way it did was because interest rates were at all-time lows. We may never see 2 and 3% interest rates again. I was one of those fortunate people to not only be able to purchase a home during that time frame, but I also got a outstanding interest rate at 2.25%. Praise God. Right now, my house, I'm paying less than what most people are paying for a 1 or 2 bedroom apartment. Praise him. And I'm a black person who had access to purchase a home. So he's 100% right. But during the Trump administration, home ownership, it increased tremendously in the black community. We're talking 50-50. We're almost 50% of the black community are homeowners. Do you guys understand what that means? That means that we have 37 million FBAs, or 45 million quote unquote black people. That means that half of them, or half of those families, are homeowners right now, unless they've since sold their home or something along those lines. He's 100% right. It is the #1 way that people in America build wealth. It's the #1 way. You put a down payment down of some sort, typically. If you're VA, you don't pay anything down. You pay on your mortgage. Your home property increases. I know so many people who bought homes during that time frame, black people. I know that bought homes that are today sitting on at minimum $100,000 in equity. Some people I know are sitting on $200,000 and $300,000 and $400,000 in equity. And these are people that I know personally. So right now, when you look at this failed administration, home ownership for everyone has become almost unattainable because the interest rates are outrageous. That's not to say that people aren't still buying houses, because they are. When you look at the interest rates, most people have been put in a position where they can have to buy less house for more. And that's what happened during this administration. Not to mention, Biden just implemented something that if you had a higher credit score, you are actually going to be penalized for having a higher credit score. Y'all can go do some research on that. It's out there. So if you did everything that you were supposed to do, got your credit score right, got your down payment up, then they turn around and punish you because your credit score is too high. You're going to pay some additional fees on your loan on top of the fact that the interest rates are already ridiculously high in comparison to where they were 4 years ago. Think about this. Interest rates were 2 and 3% during that time frame.
Trump. I say Trump. You with Trump?
Yes.
Why is that?
Lied to me.
Ooh, okay.
We're playing this.
That's
we're playing this in our podcast.
I don't think we should play any of that.
Yeah, I don't think any of. I don't know.
I wouldn't.
I didn't know
any
we
of that bullshit.
I want to play some of it.
When you see that many voices spewing that much incorrectness, I think it may potentially leave people with the opinion that the constituency of that group is larger than what it is. I hear people with those kinds of critiques who didn't arrive at the conclusion that then Donald Trump was going to be the answer. I hear critiques of, I ain't have nothing done in my community since da-da-da-da-da-da. I hear that. They don't draw the logical conclusion that Donald Trump then is going to be the answer, the cure. He ain't that. Bottom line is what we are bottling up here are over 400 years of systematic oppression of a peoples.
See what I'm saying? I wasn't going to talk, but I have to. 400 years? Really? Do you guys realize the progress that has been made since the civil rights movement that the Republicans voted for in mass at over an 80% clip? Go look at the voter rolls in the House and in the Senate. Republicans voted for every civil rights act that's been codified into law at an 80% clip or more. You can go look this up. Talking oppression? Man, stop it. It's people like them that they get paid off of pushing oppression. That's how they make their money. They wouldn't have this show on iHeartRadio making however much money they're making without being willing to push oppression on their own people. That's a fact. Because Andrew Gillum should not be in front of anyone. He should not be looking down on anyone. He needs to go get his daggone family in order. You're a black man doing some of the most, I'm not even, you know what? I'm not going to go there. But he should not be a person in black people's face telling them how they should be living. He needs to get his own life in order. This is ridiculous. See, these are the kind of people that they place in front of us. And you got a lot of black folks that fall for this foolishness because they don't know any better. I'm happy to say that there are a multitude of people out there independently out on YouTube, and they have their own podcast, and they're speaking and spreading the truth. These people, 20 years ago, there was no way to combat these types of people. It's a new day. They don't want black people to have their own mind because it affects their pockets. Now, Angela Rye is a multimillionaire. Tiffany Cross, as far as I've seen, I don't think she is. And Andrew Gillum, he isn't either. But there's definitely worth in the hundreds of thousands of dollars for sure. And they've held positions that paid them a lot of money. Tiffany Cross had her own television show. I don't know if anybody watched it. I never did, but she did. No telling how much she was getting paid on that show. I would assume it was probably $200,000 or $300,000 a year or more. It's those kind of people right there that black people need to be cautious of. They're the people that are preying on black folks. It's people like them and the Democrat Party because they don't offer anything. They don't offer anything tangible. They come with more hope and change and empty promises. That's all they have. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Drop me a comment down below. I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys, man. I am looking forward to hearing from you. Share this video with somebody. They need to see this. Share it. Keep God first in your life, America first, and I'm going to catch up with y'all next time. Peace.